Hey, welcome to my first Q&C, Questions and Coffee. I was going to call it Q&A, but or FAQ, but I don't know. Q&C, that seems like the appropriate thing for me. So if you have a question you'd like answered, or you'd like me to just spout nonsense, please write it down below in the comments right after you click that like and subscribe button. I'm trying to build this up, trying to connect with you guys a little better, and try to keep it more consistent rather than disappearing for months at a time. I'm gonna do my best. So, anything you want to know, just let me know. And let's get on with the questions. Marmalade Cream asks, I've been looking for a summing mixer for guitars myself. Are there any other units you would suggest besides the Tone Lux? So I use this Tone Lux mixer where I put all the preamps into it, and then I could record one channel where I'm blending an SM57 on one speaker, maybe another SM57. I could eke that in, or I could do an SM57 and a Royer 121. As far as other ways to sum, I really think any other desktop summing mixer or mixer is going to work perfectly fine. I was feeling very particular and I really wanted it to be as straight line as possible. That's why I went with the Tone Lux. I know that audio path is just ace. Another route though is going with like the Chandler TG2 preamp. That is an amazing 2-channel preamp, but it has a summing feature in it to where you could go and sum both mics, and this is my summing both mics. That's a great option. I've had that before I went this way. Question 2. Okay, I'm not gonna lie to you. My room's almost always a mess, so as I turn the camera around, that's what you're gonna see. It's a messy room. It's me. Yeah, that's all I can do. Our next question, is it okay to mount the rack gear by just the 4 screws on the front? Is that enough to hold them up, or do you have to support them at the back as well? Well,
let me show you something.
So the 2150 weighs like 1,000,000 pounds, so that gets the 4 screw treatment, and that's it. There is nothing behind it. The Rivera is equally heavy. That gets the 4 screws, and I'll show you from behind. It's just hovering there. It's not laying on anything, and it's very sturdy. It's not moving. It's not going anywhere. Now, like the Soldano, you see, only has the 2 screw treatment. It's a light thing, and if you're going to put 2 screws, only do it in the bottom. If you do it on the top, that will bend the faceplate. But I've never had a problem, and I've had some heavy stuff. Look, here's the Manly Massive Passive. I don't have a screw there. I just have screws in the bottom. To answer your question, for most things, 2 is fine. Jimmy Bitter says, a random pattern, lol. Great studio space, Michael. Thanks, man. Yeah, man, when I was trying to describe what's happening behind the walls, all I could think of was random, but it's not random. I guess it's very deliberate. Let me show you the cloth walls I was talking about. So here's the wall. It's a drag because it's on camera. It's just the most beige-ish bleh. So nothing I could do with that because it's just fabric. So occasionally if you're carrying something and you start to fall, it's like, oh God, don't touch, because there's a chance you'll just go through it and you have to redo the whole thing. I mean, there's no coming back from destroying one piece of fabric. Chackle CHK Music says, Funk Logic palindrometer. This piece right here, when people come over, I'd say about half of the time, they're like, what is that? It's so cool. Well, it's actually nothing. It's a rack space. It's a blank rack space that looks super cool, and everything on it is a palindrome. Solos, forward or backwards, is solos. It's all the same, forward or backwards. Michael Nakabayashi asks, great video, how do you run speaker cables as the rooms are far away? It starts with the Neutrik speak on interface cables that I have. So here's the speaker cable, and it goes to a speak on format. So when our wiring guru put this all together, she installed this speak on in my rack. And I was like, why would you do that? Who wants that? And she goes, trust me, you will want that because you're going to accidentally plug the wrong thing into the power amp and the speaker cable. This way, you know, you'll take a second and make sure you have the right thing plugged in. She was so right. That gets plugged in here. Then speaker 1 or 2 goes underground. And it comes out right there. It's not even as far as oftentimes when I've been in a big commercial studio where you have the amp behind you, the head, and then the cab out in front of you. It's not as far as that. It sounds good. I don't really have any problem with it. All right, gang, we'll call that the end of number 1 Q&C, and I'll keep going through questions and polling them and answer as many as I can and try and make these not terribly boring. Thank you guys for watching. Talk to you later.